Really good money this week, but none of it via the CX. And what are the other platforms like? Are they any good? Helping my son and daughter, well, not daughter, but potential daughter-in-law move house. It's knackering. You know what? I think I'd sooner be working. This is doing me in. Morning everyone, it's Monday the 27th of February and we are multi-dropping. We're going to be multi-dropping for the next 2 weeks. The same company that gave me the work asked me to cover this for 2 weeks. It's really, really good money. But it's not got off to the best of starts. But as you can see, I've been busy at weekend anyway, because on the previous clip there I was helping my son move, so I was knackered from that. And today's not been a good start. For the money I'm getting, I'm not going to moan. But when I got into the yard this morning, one of the forklift guys who were there to load you, he loaded me up while I went in the office to get my manifest, come out, and what I do then is I have a look at what's on the van, you know, work out what's going where, make sure I've got everything. And not one thing matched his manifest. So I went back into the office, seen the manager who come out to my van and started going, what the bleeding hell's he playing at? This is not your stuff. So the van had to be unloaded and then reloaded with the correct gear, which was obviously all ADR mine, or mainly ADR. And that took time. So I've got away a bit late. And then to my first drop, and these are the hazards of doing several drops, there's no one here. There's no one at my first drop, and it's a community art project, and the load is different paints and resins, which are all, you know, technically hazardous stroke flammable. Rang the number, and there's nobody going to be here until probably about 11:15, 11:30. Now I've got 16 drops to do, and they're on a bloody pallet at the back of the van, blocking other pallets. So the choice was I take them back to the depot, which is half an hour away, and then carry on with the run. Or what I'm doing now is I'm going to go and do a couple of other drops, which are about 8 or 9 miles away. Do them because they're loose items, and then come back and meet these people who are going to help me unload it, because they don't have a forklift. So the pallet will have to be broken open and the goods removed. So that is going to delay me today. But that's just one of the things, that's the hazard. Everything ran smooth Thursday, Friday last week. So I suppose you're going to get a glitch now and again, aren't you? So that's what we're doing. So hazards of multi-dropping, or several drops, or whatever you want to call it. This. A failed delivery because I need the pallet out of the way. I'm going to have to come back because I've got 2 other pallets behind it. And you know what it's like. Sometimes you go to a place and say, well, your pallet's just behind that. Do you mind taking that off first and put it out on? They don't want to handle somebody else's goods, which is understandable. So this will drag to the day. They have said, look, if you don't think you're going to make your last drops in time, just let us know, and we'll just reconfigure it and they'll go on tomorrow. So it's not too bad, and the money's great. It's just not the most fun work, that's all. But in these times, beggars can't be choosers, can they? Morning everybody, it's just after 10 AM. It's in fact 13 minutes past 10. Tuesday, the 28th of February, last day for me invoices today, so I'm glad today will be another strong invoicing, because the day rate I get for this is very good. I've done my first drop on my run, pretty straightforward, this run today. Yesterday I did 128 miles all told, which is the highest one I've done. That's because I had some things slightly out of the way. Today it's all more condensed, so I think that I will be improving my rate per mile today, which is going to be a very generous rate indeed. I consider myself lucky to have this gig for the next 2 weeks. I think I'm covering for a driver who's off, but they've told me that even after this they hope to keep me in regular work hope some of it will be maybe just same day deliveries, because that's what I enjoy doing the most. But in the meantime, I'm doing this multi-drop, 18 drops today. Again, finishing in the Oldham area, which suits me right down to the ground. And we're off to our next delivery, which is in Altrincham, and it's about 13-14 minutes from here. We're going to go over the little toll bridge, which is a 12p charge to go over, but I don't have 12p, so I'm going to give them a quid, which apparently will last me all day. I'm only going to use it once. There is no change on this toll bridge. It goes over the Manchester Ship Canal, and it does cut quite a few miles off the route, because otherwise I'd have to go over the is it the Thelwall Viaduct? So we've just crossed over it now, and there'll be a little hut at the end here waiting to collect the money. I'm not too sure if I'm technically allowed on this road. I think it might be a 2.5 ton limit, but you can see opposite me there's another 3.5 ton bank coming up the other way, so I don't think it's heavily enforced, but we'll see. So I have got 17 drops left to do, and I think that I'll be finishing a bit earlier than I did yesterday. That was 6 o'clock yesterday, but I'm not moaning. I've had plenty of later finishes than that on things I've done on the CX, haven't I? And for a lot less money than I'm getting now. Yeah, 12p. But they can have a quid because I'm feeling generous. I can't really. Oh, and it says there, I think, yeah. 35p will get you an all-day pass to go back and forward as much as you like. I can't be bothered. I'm only going to use it once today. I'm not even going to put this through the books, am I? It makes you wonder if it's worth why it's worth having it manned. I suppose if you've got a few thousand vehicles coming through every day, it's worth it, isn't it? Anyway, crack on. See you later. Hello. It is Thursday morning now. It's 20 to 8, and I've just set off to leave for my daily multi-drop, ADR multi-drop, that is blessedly well paid, because I'll be perfectly honest with you, I've now got fed up with it. It's same old to me in every day. It's quite pressured really, because they kind of expect a lot, but for the money they're paying, I don't blame them. And yesterday I couldn't do 4 drops. They just simply ran out of time. The businesses had closed. I rang them up and I was a little bit embarrassed, and they just, oh no, don't worry about that, just bring them back, we'll go again tomorrow. It would be better if I could get out earlier, to be honest with you, because it's like a bit of personal pride for me. But then seeing the other drivers come back with more drops than me makes me realise that they just try and get as much as they can out, and then what they can do, and those that don't get delivered that day get prioritised the next day. But you can't leave until after 9 o'clock, and it's usually, by the time you're in and loaded, you check your load, it's usually about 9:30, sometimes 9:45. And that puts you under pressure for a working day, because most businesses will close at 5 o'clock, some of them 4. Some of them don't take deliveries after 3. Some people are not in, because you do go to the odd house address, like people perhaps who get things delivered, even chemicals, where they perhaps work from home, or they get their equipment delivered to the home because they're kind of a remote worker. And they're not there, so you get situations like that as well. But I'll tell you, I'm finding it boring. It's not my kind of work, but the money's good, and obviously the CX at the moment is quiet and quite cutthroat. So the money, even when you get a job, is not probably what you'd like. So on the subject of that, obviously I've harped on about, and everybody else does, you need to find alternative sources of income. So what about the other platforms that are out there? Are they any good? Well, I can tell you that I had the delivery app, I've had the delivery app since I started working on the CX, and I've done one job on it. The delivery app does have work on it, not a lot, but what's on is a lower price, but then it's free. It doesn't cost you anything. So suppose if you're in an area and there's one right next to you, you could do it as a kind of backload, but the prices that they offer, it's not a bidding site. They show you what the price is, and then you either accept the job or you don't. They're not very good. So, you know, you pay your money, you take your choice. In this case, you don't pay your money because it's free. But I've only ever done one job because I happened to be round the corner from one and it was kind of going the way I wanted to go. So the other one is the same day courier network. Is it SD? I can't remember now, but I've got that as well. And I joined that 2 months ago to see what it was like. And you've got an option. You can pay an annual fee, which is a lot lower than the CX, or you can just have a monthly subscription, so you join month to month. So I thought, well, I'll join it on the month to month because I can see what it's like, and then I can actually report back to people what it's like. And I think it's the same day courier network actually. So I downloaded the app, registered, uploaded all my documents and things like that, and it's rubbish. In my opinion, nothing worth having. I've had put a couple of bids in on it, never got a reply, never seen what happened. The app works a little bit different than the Courier Exchange. It's not as detailed, and quite frankly, I'm going to give it another 2 months because at 20 odd pound, 20 something pound a month, I think it's fair to give it a chance in the busier times. But I'm not impressed so far. Of the apps or the platforms that you can bid for work on, I would suggest still that the Courier Exchange is the superior one, and although it is much more expensive, if you have no other source of income, you don't really have a choice until you build up your own contacts. But the ultimate aim for everybody should be to get some work of your own, just like I've got this. Now I don't like this work. I've said I'm doing it because there's not a cat in hell's chance I'll earn this money on the Courier Exchange at all. It is really good money, and I've got 2 weeks of this solid work ahead of me. Well, not now, because obviously I'm getting towards the end of the first week. At this daily rate that they're giving me, which is quite frankly brilliant. And it enables me to get some good invoices in and give me a cushion. I'm still looking for other work. I'm still emailing out and handing out cards because I just determined that this year I was never going to just work solely on this CX. So that's why I'm doing this. Now what they have told me, and I have spoken to them because there's somebody off at the moment, that's why I'm doing this, that when they're back or they've replaced that member of staff, whichever it happens to be, they will still have quite regular work for me, but more hopefully just on the same day delivery side, which is what I prefer to do. I don't like this daily runs. It's a bit boring for me, and you're just scooting around Manchester and you're sort of like looking at how many drops you've got left in. Although I don't know why I feel the pressure, because they don't. I just feel a bit pressure to get them all done. And when yesterday's task was an impossible, I knew it when I left it was an impossible task. I didn't say anything, I didn't moan to them. I just rang them in the afternoon to say, look, you've given me a Manchester run, and when I check my geography, Buxton's not in Manchester. And you're sending me so far out of the way that is going to cost me well over an hour and a half to get there and get back into the room. So that's their choice. If they gave me 20 odd drops to do, I think it was one collection and 24 deliveries, I managed to do 20 and the collection. So there's 4 items on this van, 4 deliveries on this van that are coming back this morning, which I was sick about, but apparently it's not a problem. So, and I didn't stop yesterday. You I didn't stop for a break or anything. I kind of ate on the fly, and if they needed the toilet, I tended to use a customer's toilet. Just asked them could I use the loo when I was there. So they got out of me a full day's work. I didn't stop once. From getting in the morning, loading the van, sorting out the van, securing the load and setting off, I was out delivering all day without once pausing for a break anywhere. And the day flies because you can see your time running out, but I'm not enjoying it, whereas the day flies when I'm doing the same day work, and I kind of enjoy that more. But it's money, and at this time money's important, isn't it? So I hope you're all picking up some work, but at the same time look for other sources as well. Morning again. It is Friday now, last day of the week, and probably for the first time in doing this since I started June, I'm glad it's the last day of the week and we're going to get a break and a change for the weekend. So I probably come across as a bit ungrateful, really, because I don't enjoy the multi-drop work, but I thought it was important to mention it because there are people who do this work, and it has been a lifesaver. So I shouldn't be ungrateful. I know, because I don't think, well, I know I wouldn't have got this money that I've got this week. Well, I've invoiced this week on the Courier Exchange just bidding for work. So I really should just shut up. But it's a little bit boring. It's a little bit same old, same old. It is full on. The day does fly. And last night I worked a bit later. I didn't need to. I could have brought the deliveries back that couldn't have got done in the day, and they wouldn't have been bothered. But it's a matter of personal pride to me. So in the end, I split my route up into things that I knew were going to be open later, like the fast food places where you're delivering the syrups and the bottled gases, and the businesses that would normally close at 5 o'clock, and I completed everything. But it was gone 6 o'clock when I actually did the last delivery. They don't expect you to do that, but I think for what I'm getting paid, you should deliver everything. So I wish I did yesterday. So they'll probably find there's about 30 on today because they probably think I'm Superman. But today I'm doing just the normal working hours because it's Friday. So yeah, a little bit boring, but it's out there for people who are struggling on the CX, that there is alternatives out there, that you can find other work. Multi-drop work is available, not necessarily obviously via the CX, although I do see some companies advertising multi-drop work. Most of it is usually the parcels, and it's all condensed into a couple of postcodes, and you do probably 60, 70 drops a day, don't you? That work I don't believe is good for you. Good for your vehicle. This is, not ideal, but at least you have little stretches of 20 minutes here and things like that where you go to different areas. But it's not my kind of work. But the money is excellent. But it's not all been, so to break up this, what is a boring video, I bought a new high-vis. A two-tone one, there we go. Interesting, 2 different colours. So there, that's less boring. And since I was messing about on Amazon, I got myself a little head torch. When you it's dark, you break down, you've got a bad tyre, you can put it around your head, and it's a torch. So that's what boredom does for you. Makes you buy gadgets. But anyway, I hope it's given you an insight this week as to what doing multi-drop routes the same all the time does to you. It sends me a little bit bored, and I do miss doing the same days to a different area. And I'm doing this next week as well. I wanted to just not bother, but I did actually say I'd do 2 weeks for them, and I'll keep my promise because I like to think that I'm as good as my word. So I'm going to do it. But after that, no. I would consider doing the odd day or two here for them, to cover. But even though the money's fantastic and I could do this, if I did this all the time, You know, I could book holidays to far and wonderful places without any pressure. Could probably go out and get myself a new van every year. But no, it ain't for me, not at all. So after next week, I'll say some luck. I'll do the odd day here or whatever, a cover for you, but I'm not interested in anything permanent. But they did say they had other work that they could keep me busy with anyway, the same day stuff. Well, when I say keep me busy, quite regular. Well, then I can interject it by going for things on the CX2, because I do like the variation, and that is how I'm going to play it. So this week, not as interesting, I'm very sorry, but it does give you an insight on how I run the business from week to week, which is basically what the channel's about. So thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. The subscriptions are growing, albeit slowly, they are growing. And if you don't subscribe to the channel, please subscribe to me. Let me keep ahead of Freddie Fletcher Limited, because he's catching up. I'm getting a bit alarmed by his figures. So I could do just shooting ahead by a few, and I'd be grateful. But if you don't, give us a thumbs up anyway, because the more people that put a thumbs up on the video, the wider it goes. Thank you for watching me, and I'll report in next week, but not every day, because watching my miserable face getting more and more unhappy doing this work would probably get you all down. Thank you.